Hello, everyone. We are having a crisis in America. My name's Bill, and I am not 18.
But I'm Melanie, and I am 18.
And so what we're going to do in the next few minutes is we're just going to have a quick discussion and figure out and talk about what the crisis is like through the eyes of an 18-year-old. Well, good afternoon. Good morning, Melanie.
Good morning.
Well, we definitely are living in some, times you've probably never seen in your life, correct?
No, nothing like this before.
So tell me a little bit what your first thoughts are right now as we're really starting what is kind of the first week of a complete shutdown in America, especially here in Metro Detroit, with all of the restaurants being closed, carry out only, schools closed at least for the next month. People are being encouraged to only meet in groups of 10. And it's really just starting this week. Tell me a little bit, what is it like for you, and what has your experience been up to this point?
So far, there's been a lot of chaos with school. Nobody really knows what's happening. We're not going, but we don't know. Rather, we're going online, or how that's going to play out for a lot of presentations and stuff that needs to happen in the end of the year. Right now, we're just trying to wait and get information every hour. New stuff seems to come out, so that's kind of chaotic. But other than that, we're just kind of waiting it out.
You're a senior this year in high school. What are your friends saying? What do they think right now with having at least the next month off of school?
People are worried, especially kids who are in sports right now and we're looking to be recruited this year, especially with softball and baseball.
Right.
They realize that the season's not going to happen at all, and we might not get to go back at all. Looking at the way Italy's going right now, they're worried.
So definitely as a senior, there's a lot of activities usually this time of year. Tell me what activities have been canceled? Is anything still happening as far as senior activities?
So far, nothing big has been canceled yet. Everything was scheduled for the week we go back. Right now, we're supposed to have CPR training. AP testing starts the beginning of May, prompts in the middle of May, and then graduation's the end of May. So right now, when we're scheduled to go back, everything will happen pretty much right away. But if it gets extended any longer, everything will start to interfere.
Are your friends concerned that maybe all of those senior activities, senior prom, overnighter, graduation, is there concern yet that those things might not happen, or is everybody still kind of hoping that those things are still going to happen?
Everyone's pretty concerned. I'm pretty hopeful that we'll go back, but I don't really know quite yet.
Right.
But everyone's really concerned as far as just spending the last few months in school.
What are your friends saying about what's going on? How are they feeling? Are they thinking this is a little bit too much hype and that it's unnecessary reaction, or are people getting concerned that maybe this is something that they should be concerned about?
People are think that this is a lot of hype, especially because the mortality rate for 18-year-olds is very low. So people are kind of annoyed that we're not able to be in school or go to work because of something that's not going to kill them.
So with all this time off, what are your friends doing? Are they staying inside and kind of isolating themselves? What are they doing? Are they still going out trying to find ways to party and hang out? Or?
Right now the mall's still open, so everyone's going there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're trying to do parties at home as much as they can, get stuff delivered. Pretty much anything that's still open is busy. So.
Wow. So people are still, and now the president is encouraging people to not get in groups of more than 10. Are they honoring that, or is it the bigger the better?
No, bigger the better. Especially in houses where they really can't notice who's there, at least not yet. But yeah, the bigger the better as far as people.
So is there any thought or are people mainly just writing it off that this is an old person's disease, and as an 18-year-old, even though they're saying you might be a carrier and you could transmit this disease to your grandparents, your parents, are people just don't care about that, or they just really don't think it's possible?
I think some care, especially people who are around their grandparents a lot or live with their grandparents. They're really trying to stay home. I'm trying to stay home just because I don't like being sick. so I don't want to get it. But people for the general population, I guess, and my friends at school, they don't really care. Whatever happens, happens. If they get it, they get it. But we're just trying to keep going.
And so what, if you had to summarize right now the feeling amongst people of your age and your friends, would you say that people are more annoyed by the fact that it's interrupting their life and there's things that they want to do might be canceled? Or do you think they're more scared that the future is uncertain and this could really be something that impacts a lot of people?
They're more annoyed, for sure. They don't see why everything's being canceled or why we can't go back to school. So,
at what point do you think that would change?
I don't think it would.
Really? There wouldn't be ever a point. I mean, this week you tried to get toilet paper. You couldn't get toilet paper anywhere, probably within the state of Michigan. Shelves are completely empty of food. That didn't make anybody think, wow, this might change my life a little bit.
Yeah, but mostly people are annoyed that other people are overreacting and stockpiling, and I don't think people see that lockdown is still on the table and we might not actually be able to go. So nobody really understands what's happening in other countries and how it could affect us here.
Sure. How long do you think this is going to last?
I don't know, a couple months probably.
Do you think that's something that's shared by other people your age that's going to be a couple months? Or right now schools are canceled through April, which is another 3 weeks, first part of April? Or do you think, most people think that when that time comes, that's going to be the end of it?
I think most people think when that time comes, it's going to be the end of it. I think before that, people think it'll be over before that, and 3 weeks was too long. So,
right. What has surprised you the most so far with the crisis in America?
The toilet paper.
I
don't really understand why we're out of toilet paper nationwide, especially when, even if we are in lockdown for 6 months, you're not going to go through 700 rolls of toilet paper. So,
right.
Probably the most surprising. And the produce. I really don't understand why we're running out of, especially stuff like lettuce and stuff you can't freeze very well. That's not going to last you 6 months either. So.
Right. What concerns you the most at this point?
Concerns me the most. I want to go back to school before graduation, so that's kind of concerning. More than that, mostly how deep in a recession we might end up, and especially being 18, I don't really have money to begin with, so how that could impact me and going to school and everything.
Right, and I know you're 18, you recently just got one of your first job, you've been working really hard at trying to get that money put away to get things that, ready for start college, start life on your own. How do you think this is going to impact those plans moving forward?
I don't know. That's probably the scariest thing is I don't know, like, how much money I've saved, how much that's actually going to get me as far as school and going on after this all settles down.
Are you still working now, or are you work in food service, you're working in a restaurant? Are you concerned about working in a restaurant, or is money still more important?
I'm concerned about working in a restaurant. I gave up my shifts this week. They cut back hours, so I was only scheduled for 9 hours this week. Now I'm scheduled for 4 tomorrow because nobody took my shift. But I'm giving up any of the shifts that people are willing to take just so that I can stay home.
A lot of times, for those of us that are older, we definitely have remember whens in our life, right? For my parents used to always talk about, they remember exactly where they were when JFK was shot. It's something, it was a remember when. Everyone remembers that time, is burned in your memory. For my generation, it definitely was 9/11. Everyone remembers where they were at when they hit 9/11. This crisis is probably going to be your generation's remember when, but there really hasn't been a single day, because it's kind of been an evolving process, other than maybe when school was canceled. What do you think? Do you think this is going to be a remember when, or something that completely changes the new normal for your generation, or something that's going to go ahead and just pass and be a meme and a joke a year from now?
I don't know. I think we'll remember it for sure, rather than it'll impact 50 years from now if we'll remember it exactly the way we do now. I don't know. Especially because, I mean, we'll probably remember school being canceled, but all the little things, I don't know.
Of all the things that have happened so far to this point, here we are on March 18th, 2020. Of all the things that have happened, what surprised you the most?
Restaurants being shut down probably for dine-in and carry-out only. That was pretty surprising.
And how is that impacting everyday life?
Um, Fast food are very busy now, so you really can't get through the line at all. I haven't really gone out, but just driving around, it's been pretty busy. We were gonna go to Red Robin for my birthday, and we couldn't do that. So,
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Sure.
so we were gonna get it delivered, but we didn't really think that would be as good, so we're just gonna wait and go later. But that was pretty surprising, and I think a lot of people are upset about that too, because they don't really think that it affected anything or really changed anything.
Sure. Right now, here we are, episode 1, through the eyes, Crisis in America, through the eyes of a teenager. What would you want people that aren't your generation to know about what you're feeling and what it's like right now to be living in this crisis?
I think I'd want people to know that we don't only want to go back to school. We do want to go back to school, but we care more than that. So don't underestimate what we're capable of thinking or feeling, because it affects everything else too.
Sure. Final thoughts, Melanie?
Final thoughts? I don't know. It might last a while, so we might have a lot more episodes.
Stay tuned for episode 2 if anybody watches. Who knows?
Yeah.
How much fear about the future do you think people have? Like, if you had to go from 0 to 10, 10 being extreme, we're in a nuclear war, zombie apocalypse, we're raiding Area 51. 0 being life is normal as it was maybe 3 weeks ago. Where would you say that you're feeling it right now from 0 to 10?
I'm probably feeling about a 5, maybe a 6. It's pretty disruptive, but I don't think this is the point where everything is going to be different from here on out, not at least yet. It'll definitely impact at least probably the next year or so pretty significantly, but after that, I don't really know yet.
All right, cool. Thanks, Melanie.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. This is episode 1, Crisis in America, through the eyes of an 18-year-old and not an 18-year-old.